What is up, you guys? Today I'm going to be showing you guys basically how I prep leftover things for my freezer. I have a lot of veggies, some meat, just different things I'm going to be pulling out of my fridge. I have a little bit of leftover meals that I'm going to be freezing as well. So I'm going to show you guys how I prep those things for the freezers. This is basically just how I freeze different types of leftovers. If you want to see how I prep bulk meat for the freezer, I have a video like that. I'll link down below. But I'm going to pull out everything I need out of my fridge here, show you guys what I have and how I'm going to transfer things over and get them ready to throw in my deep freeze. So here we go. I have some red bell peppers here, and the only reason I'm freezing these are about a week old. They're already sliced, and because they are already cut up, they are a lot more likely to go bad a whole lot quicker. These are leftovers from homemade pizza night. My mother-in-law sent me home with these. I've been using these the past week, throwing them in different things, but I'm not going to use the rest of these before they go bad, so I'm going to get ready to freeze these. Right here are some mushrooms. Same thing, these are from the pizzas. Been using them over the last week. I have a little bit left. I don't want them to go to waste, so I'm going to get ready to freeze that. And here is leftover Italian sausage from that day as well. I'm going to be transferring all of these over into smaller sized Ziploc bags. I have some sandwich baggies here, or quart sized freezer bags. It's going to take up way less room. I don't need them in these gallon sized bags, so I'm going to use those. And then right here, this is actually leftover fajitas. I threw some of those mushrooms and those peppers in here. That's why I made fajitas. But this is 2 days old. We're not going to eat the rest of this. Typically I'm the only one that eats leftover fajitas. I've eaten this 3 or 4 times since we've had it. I know I am sick of fajitas at the moment. I'm not going to be eating the rest of this, so I'm going to get ready to freeze this as well, and I will have this for a later day. So some vegetables, some meat, and a leftover meal. I'm going to be showing you guys how I prep these. So I'm going to start with my mushrooms here, and I'm just going to dump them right into my smaller bag. That way they just take up way less room in my freezer. And if you wanted to, if you knew that you were gonna use something like mushrooms and your peppers together, you could totally freeze them in the same bag and they'll be fine. I'm just more apt to pull these out of my freezer if I have them separate. Because obviously if I make spaghetti, I'm not going to want mushrooms and peppers, and that's what I'm more likely to throw those mushrooms in, is some sort of spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce, something like that. I'm going to do the same thing with my peppers here. How I use these when they're frozen is I will just, right out of the freezer, right out of this bag, I'll dump them into my skillet of whatever I'm cooking, or if I'm doing like a crock pot fajitas, I'll just dump the whole bag right in my crock pot or in the oven, just like you would anything else that you pull out of your freezer. And it just saved you time because they're already pre-sliced and everything. As I'm shutting these bags, I'm making sure to get out as much air as possible. It just helps keep them longer. It's important to have a good seal. And then as I'm closing them, I'm making sure that I'm closing the bag completely. If you had these in your fridge in gallon freezer bags or whatever size freezer bags already, you could just squeeze out all the air, roll them up, and throw them in your freezer. But I, for the life of me, cannot remember if these are freezer bags or not, because my mother-in-law packaged these for me before we came home from her house for pizza night. So I'm gonna freeze this. I don't want it to go bad. So I'm just rolling this over, squeezing out all the air, and making sure I seal properly every single time, because otherwise things might go bad. So now I have my leftover fajitas here. Same thing, just gonna roll it over, get all that air out and seal it. And then I'm just gonna wipe off the outside of my bag with this towel. Especially if when you pull it out of the freezer and it has stuff that you didn't wipe off on the outside of the bag, as it starts to defrost, that's going to trickle off everywhere, obviously, and then you're gonna have sauce all over in your sink or whatever. You're gonna think your bag's leaking, but it's not. It's just from the outside of your bag. So now what I'm gonna do is lay these out, and I am just going to label these quick with what they are, and I'm just gonna put April 2021 on them. Well, tomorrow's May, so I'm actually gonna put May 2021 on them so I know when I froze them and what they are, so later when I go to pull these out of my freezer, I will know what they are. Always label your bags, because even if you think you're going to remember what they are, you might not. I've had that happen to me a handful of times. Last April, I had part of my ham left over from Easter, and I froze ham and the ham bone in separate bags in my freezer, and I pulled out what I thought was my ham, but it was actually just my ham bone, and I had defrosted what I thought was ham for dinner, and nope, it was just the ham bone. So always label them. That would have saved me so much time. In here I have pasta sauce, or not pasta sauce, pizza sauce. This came also home with me from my mother-in-law's house from pizza night. She gave me pretty much all of the leftovers because we do homemade pizzas with our kids probably about once a week. However, we are pizza'd out. So I'm gonna freeze this as well. This is just pizza sauce. So I'm going to grab one of those gallon bags and do this. When you're doing sauce, it is a lot easier if you have someone to help you hold the bag and then you just dump it in. 2 people is always better than 1. However, I'm by myself right now, so I am going to try to make this work. I mentioned these things from Amazon in my last freezer video. I will link them down below if you want them. I have every intention on ordering them. It's just one of those things I never remember to order, but they're basically something that you clip onto your countertop with suction cups, and it has these little things that come up, and you put your Ziploc bags in them so you can dump in things. It makes it so easy if you're doing freezer meals or sauces, or if you're dumping in soups or something to freeze. So your homegirl needs to order those. If you weren't feeling very confident in your dumping skills by yourself, do it over your kitchen sink. That way, whatever you miss getting in the bag, you can just dump down the drain. Here's another thing. If I had spilled sauce all over the outside of the bag, which I definitely do more often than not, I would just take this, wipe it off, and you're good to go. If you get it in between this part where your seal is on the bag, you might want to wipe that off. Sometimes that can prevent you from getting a really good seal on your Ziploc bag. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get questions on, Cassie, why are you even bothering freezing just a itsy bitsy little bit of this chicken fajitas? Well, this is going to be perfect for just me to eat for a lunch for 2 days, or I'll take this out and throw it on top of a salad. If the kids are eating leftovers, or it's lunchtime, the kids are eating peanut butter and jellies, I can go down and pull this out of my freezer and just throw it in a skillet on my stove, and this will be defrosted in 10 minutes, and I will have chicken fajitas for lunch. It's really that simple. It is the equivalent to going to the grocery store and picking out anything in the freezer section that you would eat for lunch. Same thing, except mine is already ready to go. This would also be the perfect amount maybe for me and my husband to have, probably 2 fajitas each. Perfect lunch for anybody. Or say I forget to pack my husband's lunch one day, I can pull this out straight out of the freezer in the summertime and put this in his lunchbox. And by the time he is going to eat lunch, this will be defrosted. So I can just put in a couple tortillas in his lunchbox with this bag, and he'll have fajitas for lunch. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this helped kind of show you what you can freeze to prevent food waste and save yourself some money. It always saves to save absolutely everything that you can. There is almost nothing that you cannot freeze, and I think I showed you that here today with sauces, some vegetables, we've got meat, and of course a whole leftover meal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
I don't wanna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it